Hi, welcome to Local Matters. Today we begin with Alexis Marie, local photographer and humanitarian, who spoke with Julie via Zoom about her behind-the-lens perspective and what she's doing to support fellow Plymouth small business owners. Hi, Julie.
And hi to you. Hi, Alexis. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you. Good to be here.
Good to have you. Can you tell me a little bit about your background, how you got into this wonderful field that you're in?
So I moved up here from New Jersey about 5 years ago for a job in public relations. And so it's funny, so photography was always a hobby of mine. And in college, I had to take a class as it was a requirement for my major. So it just kind of rolled out into being a hobby turned profession. And so about 4 years ago, I really kicked off with promoting my business and getting myself out there as a photographer in the Plymouth area. And I will say I've come quite far in the past 4 years I've been a business owner. So that's pretty much how I started all of this. It's pretty exciting.
That's great, and we're glad you did. The pandemic itself has obviously affected photographers in a huge sense as far as the large venues that you cover, weddings, things like that. Talk about that, what that has done to your business model.
Well, it's in a way, so real estate wise, it's actually not affecting me that much. On a real estate aspect, I've actually been busier than ever, really. So when it comes to open houses, for a while, the agents weren't allowed to have open houses due to obviously, safety reasons. What happened was I have a camera that does 3D tours and virtual tours. It's called the Matterport. So what it does is it puts the potential home buyer in the home without physically being in it. So when it comes to not having an open house, it's like a virtual open house for the agent. So it's a very cool, submersive, totally interactive tour, which can show the property in a totally different way. When it comes to the events, so I am also with the Plymouth Chamber of Commerce, and we every month have a networking lunch for the ladies, and we have various after hours, like cocktail events. So I would always be on hand to photograph those. And obviously it was been put on hold, which in a way, it's kind of upsetting because I'm a very social person and I'm definitely an extrovert. And I love being out there talking to people and meeting new people. So this has affected me in the sense of I miss everyone. And the fact that I can't be out with everyone talking and catching up, it's been rough. So I know we are coming back with hosting events for the Chamber again, which I am very excited about because, again, I want to see everyone and catch up. But for a while, again, we weren't able to have those events. So that, for me, from a photographer standpoint, was tough. Wedding-wise, I do have a wedding in October that I'm supposed to be photographing. And as of right now, it is still on. Hopefully, it will remain being on. But I know a lot of my other photographer friends have had weddings. They've had to, have to reschedule for their bride and groom because of the pandemic, and that too is upsetting because having a wedding, it's such a monumental moment in your life, and to have it be put off by such a crazy, pandemic, it's upsetting. So, but from a photographer aspect, we will prevail, and things will hopefully get back to normal sooner rather than later, and we can continue with what we love doing most.
Right. Speaking of weddings, I heard you just got engaged.
I did.
Congratulations.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Maybe you can cover your own wedding. Take a picture.
I know, right? I'm like, how can I do a selfie with
No selfie weddings. But speaking of that, how have you captured these moments when you can capture them of what society is like now?
Right. So we have the front porch photos, so I've been doing it on my own, but it actually originated in Needham. It was a group of 4 photographers who come together to essentially raise money for the community, which, as everyone knows right now, a lot of business owners and I think everyone in general has really been hit financially in a hard way. So it's kind of like, how can we band together and give back to the ones that need it most? For myself, I was donating all of my the funds I got from my front porch shoot to the Plymouth One Fund, which the Plymouth Chamber, they're heading that whole thing. So all those funds go back to the small businesses in Plymouth, which again, myself being a small business in Plymouth, being able to give back to those who I know have been affected mostly, it means a lot to me. And if I can help, I want to be able to help as much as I can.
That's wonderful. And I know we were involved in the One Fund too with a Coachella music event that they did. So yeah, it's
fabulous.
It's a great thing. And your front porch photos are really cool. It's families on their front porches. And for anyone who hasn't seen it, you really should, because it's a unique experience, and it's wonderful because maybe they wouldn't have done that otherwise. So that brings people as a family together through photography.
Right. It's capturing the emotion of what we're going through right now. I hate to say it, but it's almost like a historical moment, and be able to document it through photography, that's pretty huge.
That's wonderful. Now, you were also involved in Big Brother, Big Sister and in Habitat for Humanity. So can you talk about both of those?
Yeah. So Big Brother, Big Sister, I joined them. It's going to be 3 years this year that I've been matched with my little Destiny, who is now 13, which is crazy to me. She's just grown up so much. And I know several of you have probably seen photos of her on my Facebook and my Instagram. She's my little sidekick. So I got involved because, again, I moved up here from New Jersey, and I have some family up here. However, I wanted someone I could mentor, someone I could kind of give advice to kind of get them on the right track. And if they ever needed someone to talk to that wasn't their mother or parent or sibling, they can come to me and know that there's no judgment. I'm always an ear for them, and the advice I can give, I want to be able to give and have them, have like the best life they can have. So again, Destiny, she's great. We had so much fun. We do everything going to when we were able to, Red Sox games, Bruins games. We went to a Taylor Swift concert a few years ago, which was amazing. And Big Brother, Big Sister, they're very supportive with keeping in touch with us as a match and making sure we have no issues with our match. If there are any, we bring them to the attention of Big Brother, Big Sister or Destiny's parents. And we really band together to make sure that Destiny, she's on the right track of life, and she's going in the direction that she needs to be going. And then with Habitat, I got involved with them last year, and it was supposed to be really just like a social media, kind of thing where I was helping them out with Facebook and Instagram and that kind of thing. And then it morphed into me doing photos for them, and then doing graphic design for them, and just kind of helping them out with all that, kind of stuff. And it's been great. I've been exposed to other job opportunities, and I've met many great people that, there's just doors open everywhere.
Right.
And it's really amazing as to where I've come in such a short time living here.
Right.
And a lot of good things are happening.
And when you engage in the community, especially through nonprofits, you do have you have a tendency to meet all kinds of different connections and people, and you all have a kind of a common goal, and that's wonderful. And congratulations on doing both of those wonderful nonprofits that you're involved with. Now, how has this whole pandemic changed your 3-year plan or 5-year plan or business plan for your business? Because clearly we're not probably ever going to be exactly where we were before, but you must have some ideas of how to move forward.
Honestly, moving forward, it's a day-by-day kind of thing. Again, business hasn't really let up for me, which, again, knock on wood, thank God, I'm very fortunate for that. But, in the coming times, we don't know what is going to happen. I mean, there's so many things that are being said to us, and things that it's like, what's real, what isn't, and kind of what should we be listening to, what we should not be listening to. So for me, I have a plan. I also have a backup plan, because, again, in this time, it's just so uncertain, and we really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next year, or, so it's like having your plan set, but you can't have it set in stone, because it's like you have to kind of change with the time. You can be flexible to the emotion of things changing, because things are ever changing.
Right. Just pivot, be able to be flexible.
Positive.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. And my last question to you is how have you witnessed the people and the community, and what have you seen as far as how you feel people are handling this?
As a community, in Plymouth especially, we've just band together, and it's so amazing to see. Again, when it comes to small businesses, everyone's so uplifting, and helping each other out, and whatever we can do to help one another is what people are doing. We're implementing, people promoting other people's businesses, promoting what we can do to help others. In terms of the restaurant industry, which, as everyone knows, is really bouncing back. However, they got hit hardest for sure. So it's that other people blasting their specials or the events that they're trying to host or this or that. So it's really keeping in mind the people that are there for you during these times and helping them when they need it the most.
Right.
And again, it's coming together as a community, and Plymouth is by far, I think, the best and most together community that this can happen to, really. If you look at all the social media, for the most part, everyone's positive and uplifting and we're going to band together, we'll get through this together, we will prevail, and it's just positive vibes all around, and I love it. I love it.
Agreed. Supporting each other just seems to be the watchword for the people of Plymouth and the small businesses of Plymouth. I totally agree with you. So people will be able to see your work at your social media website, which we will put on the bottom of our screen for people to be able to look at what you've been doing. We thank you so much for joining us today, and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And back to you, Elizabeth.
If you would like to have your loved ones photographed for Alexis Marie's Front Steps project, visit her website at alexismariephotoanddesigns.com. The project is donation-based with all proceeds distributed to Plymouth small businesses via the Plymouth One Fund. 6 months ago, drive-in theaters were a slice of Americana, mostly long gone, but in current times have had a resurgence. They seem to be popping up everywhere, and we're lucky in our area to have 2 great options over the next few weeks. On July 31st and August 7th, the trustees invite you to Holmes Reservation in North Plymouth for Fresh Air Flicks, a night at the movies under the stars. The July 31st feature is Big, starring Tom Hanks in a story about a young boy whose wish to be an adult is granted with interesting complications. Come back on August 7th to join Marlin the clownfish as he sets off to find his lost son in Disney's Finding Nemo. Tickets for this fun and safe summer entertainment can be purchased online by visiting the trustees' website. Sandwiched between those 2 dates is the Plymouth Bay Cultural District's pop-up movie night on August 1st. Chairperson Andrew Botieri gave us the details.
My name is Andrew Botieri, Chair of the Plymouth Bay Cultural District. And on behalf of the rest of my team, Melissa Kenny, Robin Carver, and Dottie Pock, we wanted to invite you to our first pop-up drive-in movie night, August 1st. It's a Saturday evening from 8:30 to 10:30 at the Cordage Park Commerce Center. The movie is going to be School of Rock with Jack Black. Can't get any cooler than that. Doors will be opening at 7:30, where we'll start parking vehicles. Movie again is from 8:30 to 10:30. All social distancing guidelines will be strictly enforced, so please make sure that you adhere to those. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. Just have to go to Eventbrite and search for Plymouth Bay Cultural District Drive-In Movie, or you can visit our Facebook page at Plymouth Bay Cultural District. There's a lot of information there about it, as well as a link to go directly to Eventbrite. When you're on Eventbrite, please print off your ticket as well as the guidelines. And at the bottom of there, because one of our sponsors is the Black Raspberry Pub, you'll see their contact information and a QR code that you can download and then be able to access their menu, because takeout food will be available through them, again, adhering to social distancing rules and takeout. So it's going to be an incredible fun night. Again, tickets are going to go fast, so make sure that you do get your tickets. If you do have any questions, you can always reach out to us on our Facebook page. Again, on behalf of the Plymouth Bay Cultural District, I look forward to seeing you at our pop-up drive-in movie night, August 1st, with School of Rock with Jack Black. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you, Andrew. Local Matters exists to tell as many stories of our community as possible, and you've been a big help. When COVID-19 precautions have made it impossible to schedule a shoot with our cameras, many of you have submitted videos made with that powerful camera in your pocket, your smartphone. With a few tips and a little practice, virtually anyone can record quality video. In this next piece, Tiff and Erica show you how.
Hey, Miss Erica.
Hey there, how are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Long time no see.
Yes.
Actually, you're the person I was looking for.
Oh.
I have to do a video for this show I'm on, and honestly, I don't even know how to take a selfie half the time. Do you have any tips to help me?
Oh, I got you. Let's do a quick lesson.
It's really amazing how far we've come with phones.
It's so true. We have the luxury of working in a studio with fancy equipment, but most people don't have these cameras. So using your phone is a great alternative. They're lightweight, portable, and take excellent footage.
So where do we start?
There are 5 elements that you have to consider while you're filming. Space, background, light, noise, framing. When you're shooting your video, you generally want a space where it feels comfortable and relaxed. Knowing you're not going to be interrupted for the duration helps with the flow of the shoot. While filming your video, you should carefully check where you are filming. Backgrounds matter. We recommend a plain background like a blank wall, or if you want to jazz it up a bit, a bookshelf or a nice painting works too. Just nothing too distracting that will take away from the viewer. You should always be the center of the viewer's attention. Will there be enough light? Do you have too much light? Just remember, if it gets too dark, the image looks almost pixelated. Or if you have too much lighting, like the type of light you get from a window, you tend to get washed out. The key is to have a happy medium. The problem with loud noises is that it's almost impossible to fix. If the room is dark, you can use lights, but if people are speaking too loudly, then there's no way to change that. There's a production term called rule of thirds. It essentially means an image should be imagined as it's divided into 9 equal parts by 2 equally spaced horizontal lines and 2 equally spaced vertical lines. And that important compositional element should be placed along those lines or their intersections. It looks wonky if the image isn't laid out well. Also, if you have too much headspace, your face will get cut off when we put up the lower third, which is that bottom image that has your name on it. A few more things. Make sure you hold your phone horizontally while filming. If you hold the phone vertically, the screen will have black on both sides when it airs on TV. If you hold the phone horizontally, it fills the entire screen.
Okay, so I feel like I know a lot about the technical stuff, but what about content? How do I tell my story? I don't really know what to say.
There are 6 questions that you should answer. Who are you? What is your name and position?
Hi there, my name is Tiffany Phillips and I'm the Outreach Coordinator for PAC TV.
What are you doing, or what have you done? What is the reason for making this?
I currently work for a show called Local Matters, which serves as a platform for positive news and helpful resources throughout the community.
How did you get this idea? How did you find out about this?
Our production team thought it'd be a good idea to give people hope in a really trying time.
What has been the response?
People have really enjoyed it. I think everyone wants a little bit of hope right now in their lives.
How is this rewarding or inspiring?
It feels good to give value to our community that has given us so much.
How can people participate or learn more?
You should visit pactv.org/local scene for more information.
So, how do you feel about filming?
I feel good.
Do you feel comfortable?
So let me make sure I have this right. I'm going to think about my space and background. I'm going to frame my shot using the rule of thirds. And I'm going to make sure I hold my phone horizontally.
And remember, when you turn your phone horizontally, it's going to change the position of the lens. So I have it vertically this way, but I want it horizontally. So while you're filming, just make sure that you're looking directly into the lens so that way it doesn't change the perspective. You want to make sure it's on the side of your phone and not on the top. So I think you're ready.
You know, I think I know some things. This has been such great information. I think I'm ready to start.
Well, good luck.
See? Easy. To find out how you can submit your story to Local Matters, email us at thelocalscene@pactv.org. These are hard times in so many ways, not the least of which is financial instability. Habitat for Humanity of Greater Plymouth has created an emergency rent relief program, and Julie invited Habitat's Development Director, Amy Belmore, to tell us more.
Hi, Amy. So good to see you.
Great to see you, Julie.
Now, exciting news. You've recently announced a new rent relief program through Habitat. Can you talk about that?
Yes, absolutely. We did. We announced with grant support from the Community Foundation of Southeastern Massachusetts, we created a COVID-19 rent relief program, really in response to the financial challenges that so many people are facing right now. And so this program is for residents in the communities that we serve and for low-income households who are dealing with whether it's job loss or hours or wages reduced or medical issues in the home, people who have been negatively impacted by COVID-19. We want to make sure that they can keep a roof over their heads and that they do not face an eviction situation when the state's moratorium on evictions expires in August.
Okay. Now, how would I apply for that? How does it work? What are the criteria? That kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fairly simple application. It is on our website, and I know that's going to be on your screen. But there are, it's a 2-page application where we just ask you to provide some information about where you live now, the circumstances that you find yourself in, and whether there is back rent owed. However, I will say that that is not a requirement. We do understand that some people are they're collecting pandemic unemployment, and they are making rent their top priority, and that certainly is an appropriate way to look at their expenses. But we also know that some people are leaving other things behind: healthy food, prescriptions, utilities. And so we want to be helpful on the rent category. And we do have funds to expend, and we need to expend them quickly. Actually, they are meant to be emergency relief. And so we have 2 phases. With the first phase, we have a deadline of July 22nd to submit applications. The second phase, the deadline will be in mid-August. Yeah, it did. Well, actually, if you recall, a few months ago now, Governor Baker's wife, Lauren, announced the mass COVID-19 relief fund, and they worked with the community foundations across the state. And so our area is represented by the Community Foundation of Southeastern Massachusetts. We created this concept. Affordable housing is our priority. It's what we do each and every day. Most people think of Habitat as building houses start to finish. And that is our general focus, of course, but we are living in extraordinary times. And so we wanted to think beyond what we normally do and think about how we can keep people in their homes, in addition to continuing to build the homes that we've been working on for the past several months.
Excellent. That is just wonderful. Now, what you serve the greater Plymouth community, but how many towns do you actually serve?
Yes, thank you for asking. So we serve 6 towns. They include Plymouth, Carver, Kingston, Middleborough, Lakeville, and Plimpton. And so that's where this relief will be directed to people who are renting. There is a low income criteria, which you'll find on our website as well. And we really hope that people will take advantage of this opportunity. This relief is available, and we want to make sure it gets into the hands of people who need it.
And my last question, the pandemic unemployment assistance, the $600 a month, a week that a lot of people are getting, the end of that is the end of July, and it seems to be piggybacking with the end of the rent eviction ending.
I know.
Can
this
you
is
speak
very
to that
interesting
double
timing.
whammy? Yeah.
I'm sorry to jump on top of what you were saying.
No, go ahead.
But you're right. It's challenging timing, and the way our grant source works, it's an intricate timing process. But you're right that pandemic unemployment will end at the end of July. The eviction moratorium that the state required or put into effect months ago expires in the middle of August. And so I think when people reach the middle of August, the end of August, early September, they're going to be finding themselves in a real predicament if they are still unemployed and not back to work yet. Hopefully people will get back to work, but we know that's a slow process, and we know, the jobs that were there before the pandemic not all of them are going to be there.
Right. And clearly our state legislators are totally aware of that really fine timeline that people will be navigating, and in some cases it's almost an impossible situation that will face them. But again, people like you, like Habitat, are working towards helping individuals. Amy, thank you so much. This is great news. We'll get it out right away. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much for all you do, Julie, and everybody over there.
Thank you, Julie and Amy. Help and hope in hard times keeps our community strong together. A lot depends on the weather, but what is the weather? What causes lightning and why does it rain? The Kingston Public Library is hosting a virtual workshop for children pre-K through grade 2 to learn why it rains, what causes lightning, and how weather can be predicted. There'll be a guided activity using common items you probably already have at home. To register and get the Zoom link, visit the library's Facebook page. Stress, it's not good for us, but how do we get rid of it? You could enjoy an outdoor meditation workshop hosted by the Wildlands Trust on July 29th from 9 to 11 a.m. Whether you practice daily or have never meditated before, you're invited to bring your yoga mat or chair to the lawn at Davis Douglas Farm in Plymouth for a 2-hour group meditation led by instructor Betsy Hall. You must be at least 18 years old and class size is limited to 10 people. To register for tickets and learn more details, visit the Wildlands Trust Facebook page. Holistic nutritional consultant Jen Matney is back with Food Positive.
Hi, welcome to Food Positive. I'm Jen Matney and I'm a holistic nutritionist right here on the South Shore. If you happen to miss our first segment of Food Positive, being food positive means listening to our bodies and choosing those foods that fuel us and help build our health. Here on Food Positive, we explore all different nutrition topics so that we can take a good hard look at how to be preventative with our health and use food as medicine. One of the common things I have when I initially meet with clients is I hear a lot of confusion and I hear a lot of frustration at how incredibly complex and confusing nutrition can be. So I thought it would be perfect for today's topic, which is basically just the basics of nutrition. So we're going to try to simplify nutrition and the confusing landscape of what to eat with 3 easy food mantras. So the first of those food mantras is eat soul foods. Now you might be asking yourself, is she asking me to eat some good Southern home cooking, some fried chicken, some corn, some okra? No. So soul foods actually means seasonal, organic, unprocessed, local foods. Now, that might seem overwhelming, but break it down piece by piece. And the most important piece of soul foods is unprocessed foods. So unprocessed foods, eating those whole, real foods, will build our health over time. So let's break that down just a little bit more and let's talk about what constitutes whole foods. So what is under that umbrella of whole foods? And typically foods are categorized by their macronutrients, so proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So let's talk about proteins. You have lots of animal sources of proteins. You have high quality meats or high quality dairy. You also have plant-based sources with beans and legumes. You have, in fats, you have seeds and nuts and oils like olive oil and coconut oil. And then for carbohydrates, this is where nature really shines with her true colors. You have crunchy vegetables, starchy veg, and fruit, which is, I like to call nature's candy. Delicious, delicious stuff. And the reason why we want to focus on unprocessed foods is because those processed foods have to have things removed. That might be protein, that might be fat, and typically they add in all kinds of goodies like salt and sugar and other types of fat, stabilized fat, in order to make those foods taste good. And those things also help those foods stay shelf stable in our grocery stores, often for weeks or months at a time before we purchase those items and bring them home to feed our families. So that's why we want to focus on those unprocessed foods. They're whole foods, they have all the nutrients available to us, those vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients that are going to be incredibly important and necessary for our enzymatic processes, for our everyday living in our body. So that's why we want to focus on seasonal, organic, unprocessed, local foods. That's food mantra number 1. Second food mantra is going to be a little bit easier to discern, and it's eat the rainbow. So I don't necessarily have to explain this, but it is kind of a fun little game you can play with yourself where you try to eat all the different colors of the rainbow each and every day. Now, why might you do that? Well, all the different colors, the reds and the greens and the blues and the oranges, all of those different pigments in different vegetables and fruits, those correlate to different phytonutrients, different vitamins, different minerals. And our bodies need a diverse set of all of those nutrients in order to properly go through all the processes of breathing and standing and walking every single day. So it's really important to get as many different colors in as you can each day. So that's food mantra number 2, eat the rainbow. Now, food mantra number 3 is called 85-15, and this is one of, I think, the most important food mantras, especially if you already have a health plan or a diet plan that works for you. So the 85-15, from my personal experience and from my professional experience working with clients, our nutrition plans should include 85% of those health building foods and 15% of those foods that we choose on a weekly basis. So when I talk to clients about what they've tried in the past, maybe diet plans they've tried in the past, and they'll mention Atkins or they'll mention veganism or the keto diet, and they'll say, you know, sure, Jen, I could do that for a month, maybe 3, but I couldn't incorporate it into my life. I couldn't be a normal person. And so I love sharing this rule with them because it's not about having a diet plan be super restrictive. Instead, it's about using a health plan in your life on a regular basis for the future. And this 85-15 rule really helps with that. So I don't know what kind of desserts or comfort foods or treats you all might enjoy, but I wanted to show you one of my favorites, especially during the summer. This is a hit at my house. I love making a grapefruit mint salad, and I just put grapefruit with some oranges, maybe some blood oranges if I can find them in the store, some lime zest and some mint, and you just mix it all up, let it marinate in the fridge, and it is delicious. If you're looking for a little bit more health building, you can also add some fennel in there, and it gives a really great texture and an interesting flavor because the raw fennel tastes like licorice. So a really great option for those of you who are looking for a really refreshing and delightful summer treat. So we had the 3 food mantras today, the first being soul foods, seasonal, organic, unprocessed, local foods. Then we had eat the rainbow, which was food mantra number 2. And food mantra number 3 was 85-15, eating those health building foods 85% of the time and maybe taking a day off or a meal off in order to choose any other foods that might feel satiating to you at that time. This has been another segment of Food Positive. Before I sign off, I do want to say if you have any nutrition topics or any nutrition questions that are just burning a hole in your pocket, please send them over to PAC TV and the local scene, or send them over directly to me. I will be glad to showcase them here on Food Positive and get to the bottom of your questions. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is Jen Matney for Food Positive.
Thanks, Jen. You can hear more from Jen here every month and also on her free podcast, Eat Positive, Be Positive. On October 16, 2013, students, teachers, and staff from Bay Point Preparatory High School in Milwaukee, Wisconsin vanished without a trace. Light years far outside the bounds of the charted universe, the same 513 people find themselves in the middle of an ancient wilderness. Does that sound like a good read? Join the Pembroke Public Library on Tuesday, July 28th at 3 p.m. for Comic Talk, a virtual book club for grades 9 through 12, where the group will be talking about The Woods, Volume 1 by James Tinian IV. Make sure to register by Monday, July 27th by visiting the Pembroke Public Library Facebook page. Since 1970, South Shore Conservatory has been nurturing creativity and artistic growth for individuals of all ages and backgrounds. This week, we're happy to bring you a performance from a band from SSC's Rock Band program. The group, Not Today, featuring Olivia Monarch, Cam Igo, Larkin Tanner, Darcy Milligan, and Kristen McCarthy, brings you a little bit of sunshine.
Thank you.
Check out Not Today on Spotify to hear more from these talented musicians. Thank you to the band and to South Shore Conservatory. And thank you for watching this episode of Local Matters, which is a production of the local scene of PAC TV. Visit our website at pactv.org/local scene for a complete list of resources mentioned in the show. Follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook to keep updated on the ways our community refuses to magnify our differences, but focuses on our common goals for our common good. From all of us at PAC TV, be safe. We'll see you next week.